Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X. Episode 38. The Birth of Kazakhstan, the Scythian-Arians who moved north. Long before 10,000 BC, in the Central Asian region, an increase in population led to a shortage of Jiu, the milk that was said to flow from the earth, which was a vital food source. As a result, the ancestors of the Caucasian people began to eat grapes, another form of life, giving rise to the custom of consuming other living things, which was said to have corrupted the world. In history, this is referred to as a term related to the 5 flavors of food. In response, the leader Huang Gongxi of the Yellow Race, from the cradle of humanity in Central Asia, commanded all races and peoples to migrate and settle in the 4 corners of the earth. Thus, humanity began its migration to various parts of the globe, leading to the world as we know it today. The powers that moved west became the present-day Caucasians of Europe. Those who moved south became the races of South Asia and Africa, and those who moved east became the powers in present-day Southeast Asia and China. The group led by the leader of humanity, Huang Gongxi of the Yellow Race, moved north and settled in what is now Kazakhstan, in the central area between the lower Ural and Ural Mountains and the Aral Sea. This Kazakhstan became the central region after humanity's migration, from where governance over all humanity took place. This is called the era of Huanguk, the Bright Nation. The leaders from this place visited various regions of the earth to guide humanity toward peace. This act of governance is what is known as Hongik Ingan, the founding ideology of modern Korea, which means to broadly benefit all of humanity. The civilization founded during this migration was the Pyramid civilization. The pyramids found widely across the world are relics of this civilization, and it is said that the word pyramid itself is a Korean word. If you look at a map of the lower Ural Mountains within present-day Kazakhstan, you will see traces of destruction by some artificial force. This was the center of the Scythian-Arians who moved north. Then, around 3,897 years ago, from this place where the Huang Gongxi, the eldest sons and leaders of humanity, resided, a group of leaders united by the spirit of love for humanity, Hongik Ingan, and the benevolent pursuit of enlightenment, moved back to the Central Asian region, the cradle and former center of humanity. In Korean history, this is called Gechon, the opening of heaven, and it is still designated as a national holiday in Korea. The leader of this group was none other than Shakyamuni, whom we know as Vairocana Buddha, the founder of Buddhism. Everything began from this bright person who came as he is. Bulgyo, the teaching of Buddha, is the bright teaching. The place where the heavens opened was the plain spread before Gumgangsan, the spiritual mountain of all humanity. This place was the historical Chanchukguk, the birthplace of Buddhism, and its name in Korean geography is Seoul, which means a spiritual focal point, or soul. The pronunciation of Seoul is precisely Seoul. After the birth of Buddhism in Central Asia, these bright people seeking to enlighten humanity set out on a path of seeking truth with a spirit of compassion. They settled in the central regions of all 4 directions. The Scythian Koreans who went west settled in present-day Georgia and gave birth to the Greek civilization. The group that journeyed north settled in the region of present-day Kazakhstan, which was the center during the era of human migration and the Pyramid civilization. From Kazakhstan, they began to move further north as well as west and east, following the path of enlightenment imbued with a spirit of compassion. The paintings in the exhibition tell the story of history as it truly was, not as it has been manipulated. The bright land, Scythian, Katai, Cathay, Karai, Karai, Kori, all referred to the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. The state of enlightenment of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas, Haital, as liberation, or the bright land, was known as Brahman or Paramita. The phrase Aha Paramita meant the bright land of enlightenment, Haital. This Buddhist term, Paramita, referred to the land of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. To trace the marks of the North Scythian-Arians who moved north, let us first confirm that Russia's national name was Arasa. Russia is called Arasa. What is the meaning of this other name for Russia, Arasa? Arasa comes from Barasha or Balsha. Barasha, the origin of the word Arasa, is a northern dialect for the word Bosal as bodhisattva. The river that flows north of the Caspian Sea today is the Volga River. The word Volga is the local pronunciation of the Korean word Balg, meaning bright. In the middle of the Volga River basin is the Republic of Tatarstan. Its capital is Kazan, but the former name of Kazan was Bulgara. Bulgara is the local pronunciation and spelling of bright land, which experienced a phonetic change from Balgan. Kazan, the capital of the present-day Russian Republic of Tatarstan, and Kazakh of Central Asia's Kazakhstan are the same word. The powers that manipulated history destroyed and erased the traces of the Kazakhstan civilization that existed in Central Asia and moved it to the present-day Kazan of the Republic of Tatarstan. Kazan and Kazakhstan's Kazakh mean the land of Kasha, which is Scythian. Just as Kashu and Pashu are used interchangeably in the central lands of the groups that moved south, like Peshawar in Pakistan, or in various place names in Georgia, the central land of those who moved west, the Kasha of Kazan and Kazakh are the same word as Pasha. Therefore, the meaning of Kasha, Scythian, as Bosal, combined with the suffix nia, meaning land, remains in the present-day names of Kazan and Kazakh. Kazakhstan was the central place where the Bosalbu, as Bodhisattva department of the Scythian-Arians who moved north. That is why in the travels of Marco Polo and numerous other Western writings, the northern central region of Kazan or Kazakhstan was called Tatar, the land of Haital as enlightenment. Just as the bodhisattva of the powers that moved west to Europe was Maitreya Bodhisattva, the future savior messiah of Europe, the spiritual leader of the powers that moved north, Daiseji Bosal, was the Tsar, the emperor and pope of the North Scythian-Arians. Funnily enough, in present-day Russian history, when referring to the Russian emperors, they use the name Tsar, which was originally attached to the bodhisattvas. Thus, we can also see that Tsar or Sari means emperor. This was the structure of Buddhism. In Central Asia, there was the Chanwang, the heavenly king of the Buddha, who was the king of the bright people. In the central lands of the east, west, south, and north where people had migrated, there were respective bodhisattvas. The Maitreya Bodhisattva who moved west to Europe was called the Messiah, the future savior. The Daiseji Bosal who went north was also called Sal of Bosal, or Sar, or Sar. And the Buddha in the center, along with the Dei Bepwangchong as great papal office in Chonchukguk, was called Junhua, the center of the entire world. The powers that manipulated history transplanted this concept of a Central Asian Junhua onto present-day China while fabricating history. We can see that the mindset of the Daiguken as people of a great nation who led the world was absolutely not like that of the people of present-day China. The Daiguken who led the world were people united by the spirit of Honggik Ingan to broadly benefit the world and humanity, as well as compassion and the pursuit of enlightenment. These were the Daiguken as great country people of Central Asia. The bright land is also called Buddha Shakyamuni or Scythian. The Scythian-Arians who migrated from this bright land in Turkmenistan, Central Asia, to the four directions were called by various names, such as Gri, Gro, Kri, Kro, Gali, Gari, Ger, Kozak, Cossack, and Kasa. Now, in the next episode, we will introduce the nations founded by the forces of Daiseji Bosal who moved to the northern region of Kazakhstan and then further north and into Europe. Modern-day Finland, the three Baltic states, the Picts of the Britannian Peninsula, and the Basque people of Spain. The Ainu of Japan are also a group that migrated from the north of Kazakhstan. We plan to reveal the truth about them, so I sincerely hope that you will contact many people and join us in this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The heavens and the earth will tremble. The subtitles can be translated into the language of each country, so please make use of them. If there are any issues, please contact us via the comments or through Google Mail. Our Google Mail address is aryanrealhistory@gmail.com. The YouTube video address is Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X, or History Restoration of Aryan X. Everyone, your subscriptions and likes represent your conscience and passion for the truth, so please do not forget them.